I died alone in a shitty motel room off I-95, the kind of place where the walls reek of desperation and the AC rattles like it's coughing up its last breath. My stitches from the C-section were infected, fever raging through me like wildfire. And the baby, my sweet, innocent Lily, screamed until her voice gave out because I couldn't even lift my arms to feed her. And the last thought that sliced through the haze? Dad's voice, cold as a winter gale. Get out, Sam. Your brother's got a future. Yours? It's already over. Then blackness swallowed me whole. But death? It was just the reset button on the shittiest game ever played. When I woke up, gasping like I'd been underwater too long, I wasn't in that motel hellhole. No. I was back in my cramped apartment in Raleigh, North Carolina, the one I'd shared with my deadbeat ex before he bailed 3 months into the pregnancy. The calendar on the wall read June 15th, 2023, 8 months before Lily's birth. Before the betrayal that gutted me like a fish on the dock. My hands flew to my belly, still flat but already carrying the faint flutter of life inside. Holy shit. I'd been given a do-over. A second chance to claw my way out of the grave my own blood had dug for me. And this time, I wasn't playing nice. Revenge wasn't just on the menu, it was the whole damn feast. I sat there on the edge of the bed, heart pounding like a bass drum at a tailgate party, staring at the faded photo of my family taped to the fridge, Mom smiling like she gave a damn, Dad with that smug realtor grin, and my little brother Tyler, all of 15, already looking like the golden boy who'd steal the crown. In my first life, I'd been the screw-up, dropped out of community college to wait tables, got knocked up by Jake the mechanic who ghosted faster than a bad Tinder date. They acted like I was the family curse. But now, I knew the rot ran deeper. Tyler wasn't just a spoiled gamer kid. He was a predator hiding behind screens and excuses. And Dad? He was the architect, burying secrets that should have landed him in orange jumpsuits years ago. That first week back, I played it cool. Called Mom to check in, her voice all syrupy concern over the line. Sammy. Honey. You sound tired. Everything okay with the baby? I bit back the urge to scream. You watched him throw me out like trash. Ma. You packed my shit while I bled on the kitchen floor. Instead, I murmured about cravings and doctor's visits, gauging her. She was the weak link, always had been, torn between her boys and the daughter she pretended to love. But I needed proof. Something concrete to blow the lid off their perfect suburban facade in Willow Creek. That cookie-cutter hell where every lawn was mowed twice a week and no one talked about the skeletons in the McMansions. By day 3, I'd hacked into Tyler's old Snapchat from my burner phone. Nothing fancy. Just a forgotten password from the life I remembered. The kid was sloppy. Even then. Snaps from last spring. Him and his lacrosse buddies, chugging beers in the woods behind the high school, circling some freshman girl like wolves. Easy pickings, one captioned, Tyler's laugh emoji popping up first. My stomach twisted. In my first go-round, I'd chalked it up to teenage bullshit. But now, I saw the pattern. The girl, Emily Hargrove, had vanished from school junior year. Moved away, according to the whispers. But I'd overheard Dad on the phone once. Post-betrayal. His voice low. We handled it. Like always. Kids got a bright future, scholarships. The works. Handled it. Like I was just another mess to sweep under the rug. I wasn't confronting them yet. No. That'd be suicide again. Instead, I started small, building my arsenal. Enrolled in night classes at Wake Tech for nursing. Irony thick as Carolina humidity. Because if I was going to survive this round, I'd need skills that didn't rely on family handouts.
Jake?
I ghosted him before he could sweet-talk his way into my bed, blocking his number with a savage satisfaction. Lily deserved better than a father who pawned his tools for fentanyl. And money? I scraped it from double shifts at the diner, stashing cash in a lockbox under the floorboards. Every tip, every overtime hour, was a brick in the wall I'd build between me and them. But the pull was there, magnetic and toxic. Mom insisted on a family barbecue for the 4th, neutral ground. She said, to celebrate the baby. I almost hung up, but intel is intel. I showed up to the backyard in Willow Creek, 9 weeks along and already showing in that unforgiving sundress. The one that made me look like a fertility goddess instead of the villain they painted me as. Dad manned the grill, flipping burgers with that salesman charm, eyes sliding over me like I was yesterday's news. Tyler lounged by the pool, thumbs flying over his phone. Some RGB-lit abomination of a gaming rig half-assembled on the patio table, monitors, cables, a tower that probably cost more than my rent. Sammy. Mom enveloped me in a hug that smelled of Chanel No. 5 and regret, her eyes darting to my belly. Look at you. Glowing.
Sit.
Sit, I've got sweet tea. I forced a smile, perching on the edge of a lawn chair, scanning for cracks. Tyler barely glanced up, muttering, "Sup," before diving back into whatever raid he was coordinating online. Dad plated food, his voice booming. So,
Kiddo.
You and Jake making plans? House. Wedding. The subtext hit like a freight train. Get your shit together or get out. I sipped the tea, sweet enough to rot teeth, and probed. Tyler's rig looks pro. What's the damage? He shrugged, not looking up. Dad's covering it. Pro gamer stream setup. Gonna make bank. Dad chuckled, clapping him on the back. Boy's got talent. Colleges are scouting him, esports scholarships. Can't let a little distraction derail that. Distraction.
Me.
Lily. Our entire existence. My blood boiled, but I played along, laughing lightly. Distraction.
Huh.
Like that time with Emily? She was a distraction too. Right? The air shifted, subtle as a storm cloud rolling in. Tyler's thumbs froze. Dad's spatula paused midair. Burger grease, sizzling forgotten. Mom busied herself with napkins, folding them into perfect triangles. Emily, who? Dear, she asked, too brightly. I pressed. Casual as hell. Hargrove girl. Ty's class. Heard she transferred out sudden-like. Tyler's eyes flicked to me, dark and calculating, the first real look he'd given since I arrived. Mind your business, Sam. Ancient history. But it wasn't. That night, after the fireworks popped like gunfire over the neighborhood, I slipped into Dad's home office while they dozed off the booze. The manse was all granite counters and leather recliners, a far cry from my linoleum-floored walk-up. His laptop was locked, but I remembered the passcode, Tyler's birthday. Because, of course. Files upon files, real estate deals, tax dodges, and buried deep in a folder labeled Family Matters, a scanned police report from 2 years back. Emily Hargrove, 16, accused Tyler of assault at a party. No charges filed. Dad's connections with the local PD. A quiet resolution, Payout to the family for a fresh start in Charlotte. The girl had tried to speak out, but they silenced her.
And me?
I'd been too busy scraping by to notice. Until my own fall from grace made me expendable. Rage tasted like copper on my tongue. This wasn't just favoritism, it was a machine, greased with lies and lawyer fees, chewing up anyone who threatened Tyler's future. I snapped photos with my phone, heart racing, then logged out clean. Driving back to Raleigh under a moonless sky, 40 blurring past, I made my first controversial call. I'd protect Lily at all costs, even if it meant burning their world to ash. But how? Direct?
Nah.
That'd make me the monster.
No.
I'd dismantle it piece by piece, starting with the boy who thought screens could hide his sins. The next month blurred into a grind, classes by day, diners slinging hash by night, prenatal yoga videos on YouTube to keep the nausea at bay. But I schemed. Researched Emily's family online. Found her on a quiet Instagram from Charlotte. Married young. Kid on the way. But those eyes, haunted, like mine had been. I messaged anonymously, I know what happened. Your story matters. Let's talk. Days later, a reply, coffee at a neutral spot, halfway between our worlds. She was thinner than I remembered, fingers twisting a paper napkin as we sat in a Bojangles booth. The smell of fried chicken thick in the air. You look like him, she said, voice barely above a whisper. Tyler's sister. I nodded, spilling it all, my death, the reset, the files. Her laugh was bitter, like bad coffee. They paid us off. 50 grand to shut up and move. My dad took the deal, said it was best for the family.
Best for their family.
She showed me texts, old ones from Tyler. Come over. It'll be fun. Dad's out. Followed by threats when she backed out. The assault wasn't a one-off, it was calculated. A lacrosse star testing boundaries. Dad cleaning up the spills. We bonded over that shared scar tissue. Plotting not vengeance but justice. Controversial? Hell yes, Emily wanted to go public. Sue. Drag the golden boy through the mud. I hesitated, Lily's safety first. What if they retaliated? But then I thought of that motel room. The fever dreams where Dad's face morphed into a judge's gavel. Pounding guilty. Unfit mother. No more. We hit him where it hurts, I said. Tyler's future. Expose the rot before it spreads. By October, I was 6 months along. Belly a basketball under my scrubs. Acing midterms and stacking tips like poker chips. Mom's calls ramped up, laced with guilt. Thanksgiving.
Sammy?
We miss you. Translation. Control the narrative. I agreed. But on my terms, Thanksgiving at a public park. Neutral. With Emily as my silent wingwoman in the shadows. The day dawned crisp. Leaves crunching underfoot like brittle bones as I waddled to the picnic tables. A cooler of store-bought sides in tow. Dad arrived first. Khakis pressed. Shaking my hand like I was a client. Looking good.
Kid.
Jake treating you right. Lie already, Jake was ancient history. But let him stew. Tyler slouched in next. Hoodie up. Eyes on his phone. Mom fussed over thermoses of gravy, avoiding my gaze. Small talk flowed like molasses. Baby name's Lily. I decided. No discussion. Holiday plans. Dad's latest open house. Then I dropped the bomb. Casual as passing the cranberry sauce. Heard from the Hargroves lately? Emily's expecting. Congrats to her. Mom's fork clattered. Tyler's head snapped up, face paling under the Georgia sun. Dad's smile froze.
Who?
I leaned in, voice low. You know, the family you helped relocate. $50K for silence. Real American dream? Huh. The air crackled, tension coiling like a spring. Tyler bolted up, chair scraping gravel. What the fuck? Sam, you been digging? Dad's hand shot out, gripping his arm. Language. Son.
Sam's. Confused.
Pregnancy brain. Mom whimpered. Sammy. Please, not here. But here was perfect, kids flying kites nearby. Joggers pounding pavement. Witnesses everywhere. I pulled out my phone. The police report glowing on screen. Emailed to a local reporter I'd tipped off last week. Confused? Like how you confused my recovery room for a hotel checkout. Threw me out so Tyler could upgrade his Twitch setup while I rotted in a motel. Infection eating me alive. The words poured out. Venom and vindication. First life flashing in Technicolor. Lily's tiny cries. The paramedics too late. Dad's voice on the news. Tragic accident. Family's heartbroken. Tyler's face twisted. Ugly and raw. You were always the weak one. Dad said it. Your kid was a mistake. Just like you. He lunged. But Dad yanked him back. Eyes darting like a cornered animal. Enough.
Sam.
This is blackmail. Family sticks together. I laughed. Cold and final. Family? You buried a girl's trauma for a scholarship. Mine? You buried me alive. Sirens wailed distant. Someone had called it in. The reporter's doing. Emily emerged from the tree-line. Phone recording. Her voice steady. It's over. Mr. Reynolds. We talk now. They scattered like roaches, Dad dragging Tyler to the SUV. Mom sobbing apologies into her sleeve. I stood there, hand on my belly, Lily kicking like she approved. Victory tasted like freedom, sharp and sweet. But as cop cars crested the hill, I felt the twist gut me. Mom's phone buzzed on the table. Screen lighting up with a text from Dad. Get rid of the evidence. Tyler's not the only one with secrets. Attached? A photo, not of Emily, but me. Teenage me, bruised and broken, from the night I'd assaulted someone.
No, wait.
It flooded back. Suppressed memory surfacing like bile. I'd been the victim, but Dad had twisted it. Blamed me to protect his real son. Tyler wasn't blood. He was Dad's bastard from an affair. The golden child I'd unknowingly enabled by staying silent. The cops cuffed Dad on the spot. Old evidence resurfacing. Emily's testimony sealing it. Tyler? Juvenile detention. His rig sold to pay restitution. Mom confessed in tears. The affair. The cover-ups. How she'd let it fester to keep the house of cards standing.
Me?
Charges dropped. I was the survivor, not the perp. Lily came screaming into the world 3 months later. In a proper hospital with duelists and no ghosts. I named her after the fighter I'd become. But the real twist? As I held her, tiny fist curled around my finger, I realized revenge wasn't the endgame. It was the beginning. Willow Creek burned in headlines. Real estate mogul's empire crumbles in assault scandal, but I walked away clean. Nursing degree in hand. A job at Duke Medical waiting. No by kitsch here, just a second life. Hard won and unbreakable. Dad rotted in county lockup. Tyler in juvie therapy. Mom in a 1-bedroom begging for scraps of forgiveness I might never give. And me, Samantha Reynolds. No more. Samantha Hale now, maiden name reclaimed, future wide as the Atlantic. I died once for their sins. This time, I lived for mine. Wait, no.
That wasn't the end.
Scratch that rose-tinted bullshit. Life after the picnic takedown wasn't some Hallmark montage with swelling strings and fade to credits.
Nah.
It was Messier. More American than a Black Friday stampede. Lawsuits flying like confetti. Tabloid vultures circling.
And me?
8 months pregnant. Dodging subpoenas while trying not to puke up my Weight Watchers dinner. The reporter I'd tipped? Some hungry kid from the News and Observer. Turned it into a 3-parter. Suburban Shadows. How one family's secrets nearly killed twice. My name splashed everywhere. Samantha Reynolds. 25. Whistleblower mom-to-be. Hero? Victim? Clickbait gold. That's what. But heroes don't get death threats carved into their apartment door. Snitch bitch. In jagged Sharpa. Discovered at 2 a.m. When the super buzzed me awake. Lily kicked hard. Like she sensed the storm. And I sat there in the dark. 911 on speed dial. Wondering if I'd overplayed my hand. Emily called the next morning. Voice shaky. They're saying I'm lying for attention. Tyler's lawyer, some shark dad hired on spec, dug up my juvie record from shoplifting gum at 14. It's a circus. I wanted to rage. But all I could muster was, stay strong. We've got the truth.
Truth.
That fickle mistress. Felt flimsier than wet tissue in the court of public opinion. Dad's arraignment was a zoo. Protesters outside the Wake County Courthouse. Signs bobbing, protect our daughters, and counter ones from his realtor buddies. Innocent until proven. I testified from a side room. Video linked to spare the belly. Recounting the files. The payout. My own eviction like it was a footnote in their grand cover-up. The judge. A no-nonsense black woman with silver streaks. Leaned in. MS.
Hale.
You say your father prioritized your brother's future over your health. Elaborate. I did. Voice steady as steel. He said Lily and I were distractions. Sold my childhood home out from under me. My room became Tyler's man cave, while I hemorrhaged in a motel. That's not family. That's felony neglect. The courtroom feed went viral. My words clipped into TikToks with dramatic filters. Support poured in, GoFundMe hitting 5 figures overnight. Strangers mailing onesies and hate mail in equal measure. One envelope. Postmarked from Willow Creek, a Polaroid of Tyler in cuffs. Eyes burning holes through the gloss. Back. You ruined everything. Watch your back. Chills spidered my spine. Controversial decision number 2. I hired a PI. Blew half the GoFund on a grizzled ex-cop named Ruiz, who tailed Tyler's juvie transports and sniffed out Dad's jailhouse calls. Kids unhinged, Ruiz grunted over coffee. Posting manifestos on Discord. Sisters like you deserve what's coming. And your old man? Coordinating from inside. Promising bail if Tyler behaves. Mom? She ghosted after the confession. Holed up in a sister's basement in Greensboro. Therapy bills stacking like cordwood. A single text. I'm sorry.
Sammy.
I chose wrong.
Yeah.
You did.
Ma.
But pity? I had none left. Instead, I channeled it into prep. Birthing classes solo. A will naming Emily godmother. Even a concealed carry permit. North Carolina's lax laws a silver lining in the shitstorm. Jake resurfaced. Slurring voicemails about stepping up, but I forwarded them to his PO. Guy's parole for domestic beef was hanging by a thread. Labor hit like a freight train on a foggy December dawn. Contractions slamming every 5 minutes as I white-knuckled the steering wheel to UNC Rex. No epidural this round. I'd read the risks. Demanded a natural birth to reclaim control. Nurses fluttered. But I barked orders. No family visitors. Lockdown. Lily emerged at 7:42 p.m., red-faced and furious. 7 pounds of payback with my eyes and, God help me, a tuft of Jake's auburn hair. Holding her, slick and squalling, the First Life motel flashed, her tiny body cold beside mine. Tears blurred, but I whispered, "Not this time, baby girl. Mama's got you." Discharge was a media gauntlet, paps snapping from hedges as I bundled Lily into the Civic. Ruiz idling nearby in his unmarked Ford. Back home, I barricaded the door. Baby monitor humming lullabies while I pored over Ruiz's latest. Audio from a prison visit. Dad's voice. Oily as ever. Tyler's talking sense now. Says Samantha started it, pushed Emily into lying. We flipped the script. Make her the unstable one. Postpartum. You know. Mom's reply. Muffled sob. She hates me.
Tom.
What if she takes Lily? Take her? I'd die first again. The twist deepened at Lily's 2-week checkup. Pediatrician. A kind-eyed doc, named Patel, pulled me aside. Routine blood work flagged something. RH incompatibility could explain complications in a prior event. My blood ran cold. Prior event? I'd never told her about the first death. But then it clicked. In this timeline, I'd aced every prenatal. But the files Ruiz dug up included my old medicals, falsified. Dad's doing. Painting me as a druggie to preempt custody grabs. Controversial call 3. I went nuclear. Leaked the audio to the NNO. Anonymous drop at their tip line. Headline next day, imprisoned father plots against pregnant daughter from behind bars. The backlash was biblical. Dad's bail denied. Tyler's juvie psych eval triggered solitary. Mom surfaced in a tell-all interview. Spilling the affair beans. Tyler. Product of Dad's fling with the secretary. Adopted quietly to fix their crumbling marriage. I'd been the buffer. The dutiful daughter enabling the lie. Public ate it up. Reynolds rot trending. True crime pods dissecting our dysfunction like a frog in bio class. Emily and I went on a local news roundtable. Her hand in mine under the desk. It's not revenge, she said to the anchor. It's reckoning, mine too. But with teeth. Yet peace? Elusive as a Carolina sunset. Sleepless nights with Lily's colic cries echoing my own ghosts. I stared at the ceiling. Ruiz's updates pinging. Dad's cellmate roughed him up. Snitches get stitches. Ironic justice. Tyler attempted a plea deal, blaming roid rage from lack supplements. But the DA shredded it with Snapchat forensics.
Me?
I thrived in the chaos. Nursing gig at Duke a Dream. Shifts flexible for Lily's milestones. Dated a paramedic named Chris. Steady guy with calloused hands and no baggage. Who cooed over her like she hung the moon. But the real gut punch came spring 24. Lily 3 months old. Me back in scrubs. Ruiz called. Found something buried deep. That assault on you as a teen wasn't random. Tyler, 14, then tried to. You know. Dad covered it. Gaslit you into thinking it was a dream. Therapy records sealed. But I cracked M. Flashback hit like vertigo. Basement shadows. Small hands too bold. Dad's voice upstairs. Boys will be boys. I'd buried it. Believed the lie. Let it fester into my silence. The golden boy. Even then, groomed by a father who saw daughters as disposable. Rage reborn. I drove to county lockup, Lily in her carrier at the sitters. Dad behind, plexi, gaunt and graying. Sneered. Come to gloat. Sammy. I pressed the intercom. No. Dad. To end it. Played the audio, Tyler's juvenile confession, coerced from his Discord rants. His face crumpled. She was asking for it, always teasing. Lies. All of it. I stood, unblinking. You built him. Now watch him burn. Walked out to birdsong. Free air sweet as redemption. Summer bloomed hot and healing, Lily's first laugh. Chris's proposal over crab legs at the coast. Emily's wedding where I caught the bouquet like fate's wink. The trials wrapped. Dad. 15 years for conspiracy and endangerment, Tyler. Sealed records but mandatory registry. His future, a community college weld shop. Mom? Relapse into pills. But she showed up for Lily's baptism. Eyes clear for the first time. Forgiveness? Maybe someday.
For now.
Boundaries like barbed wire. I'd clawed back from death's door. Not just surviving, but scripting my saga. Controversial? Damn right, exposing family felonies. Arming up. Leaking tapes. But in America's heartland of hypocrisy, sometimes the only way out is through the fire. Lily gurgled in her swing, oblivious, and I smiled fierce. This life?
Ours.
Unbreakable. Fast forward a year, and you'd think the scars had faded like old tattoos under sun-bleached skin.
Wrong.
Scars in Willow Creek don't fade. They just get repackaged for the next HOA meeting. Lily's first birthday hit like a milestone grenade me. 27 now. Juggling Duke shifts, Chris's firehouse rotations, and the endless legal loose ends that trailed our family implosion like tin cans on a getaway car. The party was low-key. Backyard blowout at our new place in Cary. A modest rancher with a swing set and no basement ghosts. Emily and her hubby grilled dogs. Ruiz, now Uncle Manny, till Lily bounced her on his knee, regaling us with PI war stories sanitized for kid ears. But the envelope arrived that morning. Manila and unmarked. Shoved through the mail slot while I frosted the smash cake. Inside, a single sheet. Typed crisp, Tyler's hand. I knew from his essays I'd once proofread. Sam. You think you won? Dad's out next month. Good behavior. We're coming for what's ours. Lily's room? It'll be mine. Bullshit. Dad's sentence was ironclad. Appeals exhausted. But Tyler? At 18, he'd aged out of juvie last fall. Paroled to a halfway house in Durham with ankle monitor and curfew. What's ours? The house? The name? Or darker, Lily? The innocent I'd shielded like a human shield. Chris found me shredding it in the garage. Tears streaking flour on my cheeks. Babe, call the cops. I shook my head. Already did. Restraining orders tight as a drum. But it's him poking the bear. Controversial choice for. I didn't run. No packing up for Chris's folks in Asheville or Emily's couch in Charlotte. This was my turf now. Hard-earned square footage paid with GoFundMe grace and nursing OT. Instead, I doubled down, installed ring cams, stocked the pantry with a month's worth of formula, even took Chris's marksmanship lessons at the range. You're not going Rambo, he joked, but his eyes were serious. Just smart. The media frenzy had ebbed to true crime reruns on ID channel. But locals still whispered when I grabbed groceries at Harris Teeter. That's the Reynolds girl, the one who snitched. Moms at Lily's playgroup side-eyed. Dads nodded respect. I'd become folklore, the cautionary tale with a comeback arc. Mom reappeared sporadically. Supervised visits at the park, her reading Goodnight Moon to Lily. Voice cracking on goodnight noises everywhere. She'd sobered up. NA meetings her new religion. But trust? Fractured like Dad's empire. Foreclosures stacking. Realtor license revoked. I was blind. Sammy, she'd whisper. Chose the lie because it was easier. Easier. Word of the year for our bloodline. Tyler's parole hearing loomed like a thunderhead. November court date. Me slated to testify on the threats. Ruiz prepped me. Kids spiraling. Online forums. Incel vibes, blaming feminazi sisters for his fall. I scrolled his fresh Reddit alts late nights. Nursing Lily in the rocker. While rising at the posts, manifestos on entitled where stealing real men's futures. One thread, buried deep, coordinates to my old diner.
Time-stamped last week.
He'd cased it. My shift ended at 10 p.m. What if? High noon on the hearing day. Courthouse steps slick with fall rain. I clutch Lily's photo like a talisman. Chubby cheeks. Gummy grin. Inside. The room hummed with suits, DA sharp as a scalpel. Tyler's public defender a hairy newbie. And him, my brother. Once cherubic. Now gaunt with jailhouse and creeping up his neck. Eyes dead fish in a bowl. He didn't look at me as I took the stand, but I felt the hate. Viscous and hot. MS. Hail, the parole board chair intoned. Elaborate on the correspondence. I did. Voice echoing off wood paneling. Letters. Emails. The Polaroid, all cataloged. Time-stamped. He's fixated. On me. On my daughter. Says her room's his by right. Murmurs rippled. Tyler's turn, slouched. Mumbling about rehab, therapy, how Samantha twisted everything. Always jealous. Jealous? Of the monster Dad molded? I locked eyes then. First time in years. You assaulted Emily. Covered for Dad's lies. And me? You tried it once. Basement stairs. 14. Remember? I was 12. And you said it was a game. Gasps echoed. His lawyer objected. But too late, the board had the sealed files. Tyler lunged. Cuffs rattling. Liar. You wanted it. Bailiff swarmed, dragging him out howling. Parole denied. Solitary extension. But the twist, the real knife twist, came post-hearing. In the lobby where fluorescent buzzed like angry hornets. Mom waited. Drenched umbrella dripping. Face ashen. Sammy. Wait. I almost brushed past. But Lily's face in my wallet stopped me. Innocence demands mercy. Sometimes. What? She thrust a USB drive. Trembling. From your father. Sent it before lockdown tightened.
For you.
I snatched it. Storming to my car. Rain lashing like judgment. Home that night. Lily asleep in her crib, her room. Pink walls and stuffed unicorns. I plugged it in. Dad's video. Grainy cell cam. Him in stripes. Unshaven. Eyes hollow. Samantha. If you're watching, it's over. I lied about everything.
Tyler. He's not mine.
Not by blood. Your mother's affair? It was with Ruiz's partner. Back in the day, cop on my payroll. I raised him to spite her. Molded him into my image because you were too much like her.
Strong.
Unbreakable. That's why I broke you.
Pause. Cough.
The eviction? Not for his setup. For this.
Cut to static.
Then files dumping, bank records, offshore accounts, Dad's slush fund from real estate scams, laundering bribes from developers.
Milio.
Yours now. Keys in the drive. Use it. Or burn it.
Just.
Live. Jaw on floor. I cross-checked with Ruiz next on, verified. Legit. Dad's empire. Crumbling. Funneled to me as penance or trap. Controversial as hell. I burned it. Wired every cent to a trust for assault survivors. Emily's foundation fronting it. Anonymous donor, the press called it, but she knew. Hugged me fierce at the reveal gala. Lily toddling between us. You're free, she whispered. Damn right. Tyler's appeals tanked, last I heard. He's in Gen Pop. Welding dreams dashed. Therapy his only rig. Dad died in custody. Heart attack, they said. Karma's quiet kill. Mom and I, tentative truce, holidays at neutral spots. Her spoiling Lily with books. No strings. Chris and I married shotgun style at the courthouse. Lily flower girl in a tutu, vowing in sickness and health, with the Atlantic crashing witness.
Now.
2 years post-reset. I'm 30. Charge nurse kicking ass. Lily in preschool finger-painting masterpieces. The house?
Ours.
Expanded with a nursery for number 2 on the way, boy or girl. No golden child crowns. Controversial life? Every damn day, testifying for bills on family violence. Penning op-eds that ruffle southern feathers. Loving fierce in a world that chews up the soft. But the tension? It's fuel, not chains. I died betrayed. Reborn raging. Traded vengeance for victory. One calculated cut at a time. And in the quiet mornings, coffee steaming as Lily babbles cartoons, I catch my reflection, not broken, but forged. Samantha Hale, survivor. Sister no more. Mother eternal. This American dream? I built it brick by bloody brick. No regrets. Just the horizon. Wide and waiting.